The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event, it's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds, a movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC experience mastermind, where purpose is found.
Woo! Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Getting better.
Yes, yes.
You know, Lancelot, you probably don't have to answer that question anymore because he always says the same thing. So
yeah.
Just assume you know.
Well,
But you can't. You know why? You want to hear it. You know why you want to hear it? Because it inspires you to do better.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I was joking, but no, that's I love your answer.
Yeah, yes.
So, during the intro that we had, which way it's gonna have to change because that already happened, right? We're gonna get to the new one. But during that intro, I was looking on the background, and we can see us, right? Nobody else can see us, but I was moving, and our guest was moving. So let's go ahead and bring our guest, right? Monique, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, every time I have seen that intro, I can't help it. I start moving. And it was so much fun to watch it now that I've experienced all those beautiful faces in the intro. Are you all glowing like I am? The afterglow is a thing.
Absolutely. And my parents were there and just loved you and thought you were fantastic and said your personality and they didn't know your accolades. They says, I mean, why isn't she singing? She's got a beautiful. I said, Ma, it's a Grammy Award winning singer. What do you mean? She says, oh, really? I said, yes. She had no idea, but she was like, oh my God, she has such a powerful voice. She should be doing this and that. And I said, that's what she does. Yeah, but they just they loved
They
you.
were so beautiful watching. I was watching them when you were speaking, and they were riveted, and they were just like, that's my boy. They were so proud. It was so beautiful to watch.
Good moment. Yes.
But here's the thing: when we saw the airplane incident, your mom was like, "I'm not watching."
Yeah, that's right.
Really? Still?
Yeah, I was watching your mom at that point because you told me mom is not gonna want to watch that part.
Yeah.
Because it bring up too many emotions for her.
Yeah. But crazy. That was the first time she saw it, actually. None of them have seen that before. Yeah. I just got a hold of it a couple months ago for the first time. I never saw it until about 3 or 4 months ago.
Wow.
I didn't know they had that because that's a reenactment. That's not the actual crash. So
right.
I didn't know what was going on. I was like, why are we watching a plane crash? I was so I didn't know what was happening. And then when I heard the story, whoa, that was really amazing. And that you were standing right next to the pilot that you said that was on fire while he was saving you all. That was just
pretty crazy.
Riveting.
And both of them, actually, 70% of their body was on fire, and they were in the hospital for 6 months after the crash because they had to regraft their body, take skin from other areas, And I just met him about in 2023 for the first time. They brought us back and had a parade and everything for us. And this is the first time I was able to say thank you. Never met him. They just took us. They whisked us all up to the hospital. We were in the hospital for a few months. I mean, well, I was in a week or so, but never got a chance to even say thank you for your heroic actions. But met him like 2023, so it was interesting. Interesting.
So let's talk about what we all experienced, because New York City Mastermind Experience has continued to evolve. It keeps getting better and better. How are we even going to top that?
Well, I will pick that one up and just tell you that there was a special air in the room, right? Whenever you go to live events and you have a bunch of leaders, industry leaders that are creating impact in the world, and you put these people in the same room, especially for more than a day, I mean, it's inevitable that the emotions are going to start to reverberate around the entire room, right? And it's like this ripple effect that's going to come from this event, because we all walked away inspired, we were motivated, we were equipped and educated, and of course connected, right? Everybody was making those new connections. I saw Monique and Brandon hitting it off and having these discussions over there. I saw a lot of people that didn't know each other that were able to say, hey, let's get to know each other. There's something here. And people that knew each other from online but never met each other in person, right? I had the honor to meet Angeline Constantino for the first time in person, right? And that was a blessing. I got to hang out with her in the meeting after the meeting after the meeting, right? I gotta say, Lord knows all of the amazing things that happened in 3 different meetings after the meetings, right? It was just a lot of cool stuff, and great speakers, and just the experience itself on Sunday night when we went down to the Rockefeller Center and afterwards getting a few drinks and all just intimately having more deeper discussions, right? The relationships that were built this weekend are undeniable, and you're gonna see the fruit of what happened this weekend start to unfold over the next few weeks and few months and even a year as a result of the everything that happened this weekend. Was great.
Absolutely.
So I am in the actual room, if you can see, where some of the magic happened. And because it is my space, right? I get to relive it almost every time I walk into them. I'm like, oh, I remember this, I remember that, I remember. I think that what you said, Jose, it's gonna show up more and more, because I've already spoken to people who said, yeah, they picked up a client. But that was not the intention. They were not even, somebody who picked up a client was not even a speaker. It was just somebody
I love that.
who asked somebody else, hey, what do you do? I do this and that. He goes, I'm looking for somebody like that. And then the connection. Now, if both of those people had not been, and neither one of them, by the way, were speakers. If both of those people were not in the room, this would never have happened. The synergy wouldn't have happened. The business, the new collaboration. Because when you need something and you show up and somebody has it, but it has to make sense, right? And for them, it made sense, and they're both happy about it. And I was happy to hear about that, because that's what we're doing with the New York City experience, bringing people together to collaborate. It's not about, hey, how much money am I going to make? It's about how can I grow and how can I help you grow in your business, right? It's not about me all the time.
Now I want to know from you, Sifu, what was it like to, because I know you've had a vision for some time now, and to see it come together in your space, what was that feeling like?
I know the word starts with an M, but I can't even say it. It's not magnificent. It's bigger than that. But just remember M, right? And I've been wanting to do something like this for a very long time. And then everything happens for a reason. I needed to get into the room where I met you, Jose, first of all, many years ago. And we've always said we need to do things together. And we have, right? And I met Lancelot, and Lancelot lives near me. And I said, we need to get together. And when we broke bread the very first time, I said, Lancelot, I have this idea that I've been trying to get off the ground. What do you think about it? What was your answer?
I'm in. I
And
was
we
like, I'm in.
started. We
Yeah.
didn't wait. We didn't. We you said I'm in. I'm like, okay. I already. I'm already. I reeled you in. I'm like, shh. And
Yeah.
then once that started, things start going for me, right? So I started making it manifest, and we started selling tickets to it. And then I had a conversation with Jose, and I said, Jose, um, do you want to come to the event? What was your response, Jose?
I said I'd love to come, but I'd rather be involved, right? I don't want to just watch from the sidelines and just go to all your events. I might as well be involved, and it just made sense. And yeah, don't regret it one bit.
It was a no-brainer for me. The minute he goes, I don't want to watch from the sidelines, I said, Jose, I haven't even spoken to Lancelot yet, but you want to be the third partner? And he goes, it's a no-brainer, yes. And then I said to Lancelot, I got to tell you something. I did an executive thing. Jose's our new partner. He's like, perfect. So that's how we wound up becoming, the three amigos, if you will, right? And it's not just friends anymore. It's three brothers, right? Three brothers from other mothers. But if you will, it we the three of us realized that if we do something in Maryland, if we do something in New York, we're covered. But now if we start to say we're going to go somewhere else where we don't know the people, we don't know the neighborhoods, how do we manifest that? So then we had to do a partnership with somebody who lives in that area. And therefore, we're going to be going to Tampa. So if you're interested, it's going across the screen. Join us in Tampa. Text 516-242-8732. I already got some speakers who are saying, sign me up. I want to be a speaker, because the way we allowed the speakers, and we're going to ask Monique about that, to really propel who they are and be able to speak freely without selling, because I don't like going to places where people, all they do is sell, but it's more of, let's get to know you. And so we are already have the dates. You have two ways to join us in Tampa. One is a 2-day event, or if you want more, we have a 3-day event. So you can join us from February 28th through March 1st. That's a 2-day. Or join us February 27th through March 1st. And so we are curating that. So we're giving people an option of how they can join us. So Monique, you experienced it. You spoke. You performed.
You sponsored also.
Not once, but twice.
Yes.
Talk to us. What was it like for you?
It felt like a whole new aspect of my journey began at this event. It changed the trajectory of my life. There were so many firsts for me. My first time sponsoring an in-person event, right? I had my little table. I had my love, my kisses. I had my magnets with the beautiful affirmations on them, and everyone coming and saying hello. And that was a whole new thing for me that I'd never experienced before. And then this was I gave a brand new talk hot off the press that I had never given before, incorporating singing, which most people don't realize I've been silent as far as singing in public for the
Yes.
last 10 years. And so to combine, it made sense at the time when I made the vow that I just didn't want to sing anymore. It was because my mother, who was my voice teacher, my best friend, my everything, passed away. And I just didn't want to continue my career without her. And the beautiful thing that was born out of that is that I became an entrepreneur and I started helping speakers and entrepreneurs uncover their magnetic voices and speak with grace and elegance and magnetism. And so that was fantastic. But I was off over here doing that, forgetting a whole part of Monique that is essential, which is my singing. And so at the New York Mastermind Experience, I reclaimed my voice and I spoke and sang, and it felt like a rebirth.
Monique, I'm sorry. I just got to say, she shared that. I'm getting teary eyed just hearing that, but you shared that with me. And we got teary eyed together at the place.
That's
But
right.
it just to know that you were able to reclaim who you are at our event. At our event is just it's just heartwarming, especially coming from an artist and knowing when you're suppressing who you are because of a traumatic experience that you've experienced, and now you get past it, and you did that at our event,
That's
and it
right.
was absolutely breathtaking.
One thing
Absolutely breathtaking.
I could piggyback off of what you're saying, Lancelot, and thank you, Monique, for being very vulnerable in
Yes.
and how you showed up, because you were just very authentic. You're just very genuine. You were 100% you the entire time, and it's
Yes.
only when you're genuine and you show up in that way can the results of what you're there for come to light, right? So the fact
Absolutely.
that you were there with the disposition of what am I here to get? How can I serve? How can I lead? And I'm open and I'm receptive to what needs to come from this event. And only when people show up in that way can you walk away equipped the way you need to, right? In a divine way that's beyond us, that we don't know what that is sometimes. We just have the intention, hey, I'm looking for this and this, but whatever is here for me, I'm here for it, right?
Yes. Yes.
You showed up that way, and we had some great conversations, and I just enjoyed every moment of our conversations, which we got to hang out more intimately this time than we did last time in Jamaica.
That's
Right?
right.
It
Yeah.
was fantastic. And I say all that to say that I can tell you, I heard from numerous people this weekend in separate instances, and I witnessed a lot of tears were dropped. Right, a lot of tears were dropped from different levels of inspiration. Right, some people dropped tears because they were just so excited about something. Some people got triggered and emotional about certain things. Right, but again, that's the environment that we have created here for these emotions
Yo,
to become raw and to become genuine and authentic. And when that happens, that's where transformation occurs. That's where those paradigm shifts happen. That's where new perspectives start to come to the horizon, and then you can now grip it, and it's tangible, it's palpable, right? So I just heard thing after thing after thing, and I witnessed so much impact this weekend that I am still riding the wave, and I will ride the wave for a while, all the way into Tampa, Florida.
I love that. And I was so grateful, Jose, that we had a few moments that we shared some I said to you, in one day, you dropped about 5 golden nuggets that I'm now going to take and make into something fantastic. And that, for me, that is the beauty of the mastermind. There were so many wise, open-hearted people. And I'm going to say we, because I sponsored too the event. We created a space where everyone there knew that it was safe to show up and be exactly who they were, and that they were going to be seen and heard and create connections that would last a lifetime. And so, because they felt that way, they felt free to speak. And every single person that I met gave me gold. And I feel that that was most people's experience. I don't think, you go to these events and you really don't know what's going to happen, right? But you know that you're pulled to be there, that you must be there. And there were some who were called and didn't answer the call. And there were those who had the courage to answer the call. And everyone got gold that showed up and was in the room.
That's for sure. One of the things that we sometimes don't realize is that it takes a person to trigger a button that's been pressed many times. But it takes that one person. They just know how to push your buttons. And I'm not talking about a negative way.
I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, Sifu Rafael.
A positive way.
Lord knows I have people out in the world that push my buttons in that way.
No, I'm not talking negative, right? So look, Angeline.
Yes, you did, Angeline. Oh my goodness. I gave Angeline such a big hug because all I knew about Angeline was what was going by in the banner. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sifu Rafael, but that was so cool because I got to hug her. And at first she was just like this one-dimensional, beautiful words going across the screen. That was so lovely. Pardon me. I'm sorry, Sifu. Please continue.
No. But between you and me, Monique, I pushed your buttons.
In a good way.
Of course. That's the only way I like to push buttons anyway. And when you thought you were going to sing once, I pushed. And we were all blessed because of that push. So I will always push your buttons in the right way. And that goes for everyone that I ever comes across me, because that's what God has given me, the gift to help people to understand that they are way more worth to us doing what they're supposed to do than not, right? And even when we had our first conversation, Monique, I said, I heard you sing, so I want you to sing. You're like, well, you know what? So we went in the right direction. And then even as we continued to grow the relationship, I encouraged you to do more. And then we met in person. And my God, that was such a beautiful meeting. And Lancelot was with us. And
Lancelot was incredible. With us. And then we had fans already asking for autographs before I got there. I walked in and he was talking to the room. We were having brunch in New York City, and he already had fans.
Oh yeah. We already.
How can you not be a fan of Lancelot?
Right?
I mean,
How can you not be a fan of
star with arms and legs, like literally a star walking with arms and legs. I mean, that's
and
do you remember, Monique, that I introduced Lancelot to another celebrity where we went to eat brunch?
That's right.
And Lancelot didn't even know until I said so and so and so and so. And then they're like, oh my gosh. And then they connected. Do you remember that, Lancelot? This gentleman who was a powerhouse as well, right? And so think about that, the fact that even doing brunch, we were able to connect with some people. But I think the most beautiful memory that I have from this weekend is Monique's fanfare after her speech. Because everybody, once they spoke, they went to the back to get interviewed. and nobody went to go see what everybody stayed in the room. When Monique walked, she had all these people who just
Oh,
became her fans, and they walked and followed her, and they were like, their mouth. I'm like, put your mouth up. Put your mouth up. It's okay. Your jaw dropped. Just pick it up. It's okay. And the fact that some people were able to not only, because a lot of times you'll see a celebrity and they'll do their thing and then they'll walk away and somebody rushes them off to the back room or out to their limo, and then you don't see them again. But our event, everybody got to not only talk to Monique, but even hug her, to feel her presence, to see her heart. That to me was so beautiful.
and also I think people were surprised as well as I. And
That
then
was
you
oh, here we are. We're back.
okay.
Yeah, and so that was such a interesting experience for me as well. But it was such a this is what happened when I was a fan of the great opera singers and I would go backstage to meet my heroes, right? There were some that would be like, thank you very much, you're so sweet, and then go on to the next
Adios.
person, right? and I vowed, if I'm ever in that position again, I am going to give my full attention to whoever had the courage to come, and because it takes courage to come and speak to your hero or a celebrity, right? Someone that you really admire, that I would give them my full and undivided attention because they deserve it. And so I was reminded of that. And it was really just such a moment for me of like the circle is complete, right? So I give from with my whole body, my whole heart. They receive and then they give back. And I get to receive. And I feel like every exchange, every time we meet, every time two or more are gathered, that's what's possible.
Mhm.
Love it. Lancelot, you were going to say a thought. I'll go after you. I have a thought as well.
Oh, it's just I don't know if people really understood who Monique really was until they experienced it. And then it was so powerful. And then to be able to embrace her in real time, because usually, like you said, you see the celebrities and the stars, you see them on stage, and then you don't get a chance to really get to know who they are as an individual. The New York City Mastermind was just you were there, and then you were at the table. They got a chance to embrace you you were there the entire weekend. You were in the city with them, and so they got a chance to experience fully who Monique was. And it was just a powerful weekend. It was powerful for them as well, meeting you. It's just a win-win all the way around. And I think this was just an incredibly successful event. And those that missed it, you missed it.
Come to
Well,
Tampa.
Two,
Doing it again.
yeah, that's definitely important to come to Tampa. Please do. Say it one more time for those in the back, Sifu.
Come to Tampa.
All right. So even the back row heard it now. So listen, two thoughts. First of all, yeah, it's amazing how sometimes you just don't know who you're sitting next to.
That's right.
You just don't know who you're sitting next to. So you have to always treat everybody at the highest level with the highest regard at all times, right? In every room. And I can keep saying every in different ways, but you get the point. Because it's amazing how Monique was in the room the entire time, and she was like just circling, being friendly and nice, and people were like, "Oh, nice to meet you. We'll get to talk and get to know each other better." But after she sang and after she did her talk, there was a line of people wanting to meet her outside in the lobby. Everybody wanted a picture with her. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." but they had access to her for like a whole like day and a half prior to that, right? So it's amazing how things happen. But again, you just don't know. So you always have to be in the mode of, I need to know you.
Mhm.
I need to see how I can create reciprocity and value to you and experience you, no matter who you are. Because sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I was sitting next to Monique the entire time, and only until now do I really see what she's truly about, right? You just don't know. So that's the first thought. The second thought is, as you guys know, I'm notorious for the meeting after the meeting in general, right? That's just something I learned from Amway, right? I learned this from Amway, and this at this event we had a meeting after the meeting every night, and in some cases the meeting after the meeting after the meeting. And I've got to say, there were multiple times where I was like, "Oh my gosh, just imagine if the meeting after the meeting never happened." Right? This didn't happen because I remember day one, Emily Atlantis Wolf came down with her drum,
Yeah,
right?
that was amazing.
Oh my God.
Oh,
She came down in the lobby of the hotel and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna bring my drum." I didn't think it was appropriate. I said, "Hey, if this is you, this is what you're about. Bring it. Go, bring it." And she brought it down, and she did some healing work in that room. Some things that were like jaw-dropping, and people were like, "Oh my gosh!" And two people said, "This is why I needed to be here." Just
yep.
from that in that lobby at that time, that was not orchestrated. It was just literally or because the meeting after the meetings always naturally flow. It just goes wherever it goes, right? But that's the first thought. The other piece to this same kind of thought is that I got to experience in another meeting after the meeting Martha Razzo doing martial arts with Sifu. I mean, that was like a big, that was pretty cool to watch that and to watch her eat dessert before her meal. Oh my gosh, who does that? But that was unique, right? And
It
that's a mention
was.
the cool views that we had on the rooftop and just
Oh,
the pictures that we have that we're going to live in infamy. And yes, Sifu, I'm going to send those to you right after this call. And the list goes on, right? Now, and the last piece to this is there was this very wealthy gentleman who walked into the lobby on Sunday night, which was in this case the meeting after the meeting after the meeting, and we were all ready to hit our trains and planes and automobiles and everything the next morning, like really late. So this random guy walks in, and it was the people that were still there was T.O., Timothy Clay, for those who don't know, Coach T.O., Dr. Brian Arnold, and myself. It was us three, and we were exhausted. And Sifu had just tapped out because we were all like waiting for somebody to say we're going to bed. And then when he left, we were like, okay, we should probably go up. So like literally it was like 20 more minutes we were there, and then we was about to go to bed. And then this guy walks in with like a posse of a bunch of people following him. And you could tell he was an influencer because everybody was like trying to talk to him, right? And so he said, everybody go to your after parties, whatever, and I'll meet you guys up. So, and there was like a Ferrari in the parking lot, and all kind of, this guy was like a high level dude, right? So, and you can just tell he walked in with a big present, a massive present. And he starts opening it up. He said, "Hey guys, you want to help me open this thing?" Just randomly to us, right? He had this like heavy New York accent, came across like a mob boss of some kind, right? And we're like, okay, sure. So T.O. and Dr. B started kind of supporting him there. And it was a big, massive box of like really expensive wines. Like each bottle is like a few $100, and there was like 8 bottles in there, right? So he just opens this thing up and says, "Oh yeah, it's just a gift from one of my clients. Yeah, you guys want to drink it with me? Come on, guys, let's sit down. Hey, Richie, man, get him a glass. Like just like that, right?" So Dr. Brian, who doesn't drink, and then there was T.O. who was refusing to drink the whole time. Tell me why he poured everybody a glass. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Okay, I guess we'll sit here and hang out." Excuse me. And we hung out with this guy for 2 hours.
oh my goodness.
And we had no idea, but this guy is a multimillionaire, 9-figure earner who is absolutely crushing, owns like hundreds of Verizon locations and doors that he has. And it was just a crazy, crazy conversation. And this is the crazy part. It gets crazier. Is somehow, some way, as in the night owl, the meeting after the meeting, can go in any direction, as I said. And at some point, we started talking about faith. And then he was talking about some personal things on the faith. And without putting his business out there, because he might end up in our worlds, and I don't want him to know that I aired out, certain things. But he was vulnerable, and we had a conversation. And I said, and I looked at him in the eye, right? And I started talking about success and how success is not just monetary, what's in your bank account. Success is not just, whether you have a six pack or not. Success is not just whether, you're Dad of the Year award because your kids love you. Success is not just you have a healthy marriage. Success is not just you have a thriving business or whatever it is. I mean, there's 10 areas of your life. I said true success is being strong in all areas of your life, not just one area, right? So I said, kudos to you, my friend, for being a 9-figure earner, for all the things you're doing. But what you just told me right now is why we're having this conversation, because you said some things that spoke to me in areas that I need to grow. And I'm going to tell you something you need to hear right now, if that's okay. And I said, only if you want me to. And he said, no, please. And he was very humble, very kind guy. And I poured into him and I gave him some thoughts on faith and leadership in the family when it comes to that, right? And the guy, I can tell you right now, it was an emotional conversation across the board at that table. And it was just us 5. It was the guy, his friend, his main right-hand man, and then us 3, Coach Brian, Tio, and myself. It was 5 of us for 2 hours in the lobby. And tell me why. He said, Jose, thank you for that. As a matter of fact, I didn't see this coming, but this is why I'm in New York, in this place right now. I needed to hear that. And that's all I needed. And I'm not sure how this all came about, but that's what I needed to hear. And then he texted me the next day and he confirmed, hey, thank you for pouring into me. Thank you for that message. I promise you, I'm going to see it through. Right. And he more to it. But that is what it's about. You just don't know who you're going to meet, what's going to happen, where the conversation will go. But these are the ripple effects of the impact that you create, that you will never see the end result of what came from it. But what you know is that everywhere you go, you just give your best and you're always looking to serve. And he served me in some ways that he will never know, and vice versa. Right. And that's the power of relationships.
Jose, that is so beautiful. It's what I call a divine appointment that neither of you knew that you had, but because you both showed up ready to serve and be a leader, you were divinely guided to that moment. And it was a divine appointment. And oh my goodness, what a beautiful story.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
I gotta say, I have 2 of the bottles, and I wasn't even at the meeting. So how do you like that, right? But
he had his drink bottles, and then he said, "Hey, these ones that didn't open, take them. You guys just have them, man. I don't want, just take them." And we were like, "What? Are you sure?" And that's the kind of guy he is. Yeah.
So I'm not going to open them till we get together, the 4 of us, right? So here's the thing. Coach Teal, I'm picking up to take him to the train station, right? And he's walking out with these 2 bottles from the hotel. I'm like, "What are you doing?" I said, "It's not even. It's like 9:30 in the morning." I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" He goes, "Well, I got stories to tell you." So then he tells me everything, right? But then he also said that you guys showed him some footage from our event, and he goes, "Wow, you guys are the real deal. You're really doing this." Because he said he knows some heavy hitters who usually pay $80,000 to go to events. And he goes, "Wow, I think I need to be with you guys," right? Is that true, Jose? Right? He needs to be
100%. He said, "I want to be at your events. I want to speak at your event." And he said, as a matter of fact, I host events too. And he hosts like some large scale events for his companies where he's brought in names like David Goggins and like some of these big players that they pay, just to come and speak as keynotes, right? So he said, "Listen, I'm always looking for speakers for my events." And he's like, I want you guys. Let's get our information and, blah, blah, blah. And it was just powerful. And of course, he walked away with signed, personalized copies of all of our books, as well, which was fantastic.
That's pretty cool. So think about, like you talked about, divine intervention, right? Because there was a reason that you guys were still there. There was a reason he came in at that time. Because it was a little bit more quiet. There was more space for that conversation. And when we think about giving somebody the space to speak, we need to hear, we need to listen. And if you take the word listen and flip the words around, What does that spell? Silent. Take the word listen, flip the words around, it spells silent. So in order for you to listen, you need to be silent. You need to adapt and listen.
Excuse me.
Salud, senor. I listened to
Excuse me.
that.
Thank you.
Bless you.
And so everything happens for a reason. Jose met Monique in Jamaica. He met her because he said yes to being in that room. Monique wasn't even speaking in that space. She went as a guest. She said, yes, I'm going to be your guest. But we have those divine interventions where God says, I need to connect you. But if we don't say yes, we won't have those. So I'm asking you right now, do you want a divine intervention? Join us in Tampa. I'll say it again, Tampa. So make sure you come to Tampa, people. I think there's some music playing in the background. Somebody's having fun.
Oh, can you hear that? That's my neighbor. She's a little 10-year-old and she practices the piano every
Oh, that's
morning.
so cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. So, but let's move on to let's talk about the food. I mean, listen, we hired a young Cuban up and coming chef. How was the food?
It was delicious and they were so sweet and kind. I always say, I was raised in the
Who's there? No,
Caribbean.
he wasn't there. You never met him.
No,
He
but the
left.
women who were serving,
Oh, the ladies, yeah. One of them is my client, and I know she did that, so we hired her.
so good. But my mother is raised in the Caribbean, and they can cook, right? They can cook. And there was yuca there, which I was not expecting. It was so good. And I always used to say when my mom used to cook for me, I can taste the love. And I
Mhm.
did. I could taste the love. It was so good.
So
I,
good.
I, I thought that was just an excellent decision on your part, Sifu, especially because we all talk about eating healthy and taking care of our mind, body, and soul. And at first, the thought was there's food truck, and then at the last minute, you decide. I said, food truck is like frankfurters and pizzas and stuff like that. Maybe we should get the food catered. And I thought that was a great decision. And then the food was absolutely fantastic. You had the chicken and the salmon. The salad was wonderful. We had the carbohydrate with the rice. So I thought it was a perfect representation of what we represent and moving forward and being the best that you could be physically, mentally, and spiritually. So I thought it was just fantastic, man.
I gotta throw in there whenever I am involved in any kind of events, whether I'm hosting myself or I'm a co-host in collaboration with you guys. It doesn't matter what event that I'm involved in. I'm always observing. I'm paying attention to what are people enjoying, what are they not enjoying, what is the feedback, what's the word on the street, what are the birds chirping in the corner that you don't know about, what is happening, right? Because a lot of times at events, people like under their breath and be like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe it?" Like I want to hear it all, right? I want to hear everything, right? So, of course, the food, people were like, "Man, that food was a home run." I felt it was a home run. I could see it on people's faces as they're eating it. It was a home run. Like people were leaning into their plates like I've never seen before. So it was just very, very delicious food for sure.
Yes.
One of the other aspects is that we brought in some true professionals to capture the moments, and we have one of them joining us now.
Mikey
snap.
Mike.
Good
Mike,
morning.
Mike.
Good
Another meeting
morning.
after the meeting guy. What's going on, Mike?
I'm sorry. I'm tardy for the party, but I couldn't not be on it and say how honored we were to be there. Burn Brand is always just happy to be a part of anything that Sifu, Jose, and Lancelot puts on. And Monique, God, it was you're beyond a pleasure to be around. So thank you for the opportunity.
And I'd
Oh,
like
it
to,
was such a pleasure to meet you, Mike. You
Mike,
brought
I gotta
all this
say,
beauty to the moment. Sorry, Lancelot.
no, continue, because
I was just loving him up. Mike, love you.
Love you.
I just want to say, Mike, and his company, I mean, he was on point from the time he got there, him and Pete, until the time he left. He must have, I mean, gigabytes of information because he just was capturing everything. Every time I turned around, I mean, in the city, he was capturing stuff. While we were sitting at the meeting after the meeting after the meeting, he was capturing things. And I was like, Mike, man, how much information have you taken? This is just breathtaking. I said, this is how you hire a media person, a media group, brand, Bremen brand. So hats off to you, man, on just a fabulous. I can't wait to see the footage because you literally documented everything. So big shout out to you and Pete.
Lancelot, in anything that I do, I always want to align myself with the best, right?
Yeah.
That's just the reality. If you want to have excellence across the board, then you have to attract excellence. You have to seek the best at what you're doing, right? So from the moment I met Mike and Pete, I met Pete first, and then Pete introduced me to Mike. And we had a blast here in Maryland over dinner and some cocktails, and just really enjoyed Mike and his heart and the fact that he's devoted to his wife and his kids. And he's a businessman, super high level professional, and has a heart of gold, loves to serve, loves to be around the environment of growth. And he checked all of my boxes that I would check on somebody that I want to do life with and grow with, right? And put even business aside, I'm just talking about life and just somebody who I would want to grow and build with as a friend, as a brother. And I was like, this is a divine appointment, right? Like there's no question in my mind that we were supposed to meet the way we met. And shout out to Brandon Godoris for creating the room that allowed me to meet Pete, and that allowed me to then meet Mike. So huge. And you over delivered, Mike, as you always do, and I know you would. And that's why we have partnered with you for our events. And stellar job. Thank you for serving at the highest level. Thank you for being a true professional, and of course, just for being a great man.
Yes.
Here's what I'm going to say about Mike, right? Mike would come over and show me some of the footage, and then he would say, this is what do you think of this? And then we would get into a discussion of, I think this, I think that, I think that. And he would take my direction and run with it. And it was like, holy cow. It's like I spoke to myself and I went and did it because he understood me from the minute I opened my mouth, and it was no question. And then he even guided us when we were doing interviews, like, guys, stop that. Do it like this. And I was like, yes, sir. Because he knew exactly what he needed to capture. He knew exactly how many seconds it needed
That's right.
to
How many
be.
seconds?
And even
That's
Monique,
right.
you remember, he said, you're going to speak. And then he told you how many, you got 5 minutes. It's like, ding,
He would
countdown,
count it
countdown.
down.
He counted you down and you were like, boom. Because when we work, as a creator myself, when we work with another professional who is truly professional and they're incredible at their craft, you can see the genius behind it. So, Mike,
Absolutely.
hats off
And
to
we
you.
get better, right? We when we're in the presence of that creative energy and they're at the top of their game, I better be sure I'm at the top of my game too, right?
Yes. It's nothing like it. When everybody is professional and good at something, it's just like you just feed off each other and you just create magic. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But it's only like if you're a creator, and I'm not. Pete is definitely the creator. Like Pete is the videographer. Looks like I froze too. Okay, there we go. Pete is the creator. He is the guy. That's why I hired him, and he is. I give credit where credit is due, right? And the beauty of it is that you can't capture something that doesn't exist. So as much credit as you're giving to us, we have to give it back to you because we were in the right room, right? Like the power of the room, like it was the right room, and you guys were the right people. If you guys weren't, then we wouldn't be able to capture it, right? We're just capturing something that already exists. And our goal is for the next mastermind is to just keep elevating it and elevating it and elevating it, because this was the first one that we've worked with you guys on, and we want to make sure that each time that we do it, we evolve and help you to evolve. And that's the only reason why I'm on the call at 7:50, because y'all all know I'm not the morning person. And I'm trying, like, if I took off these glasses and the lights weren't protecting me from you guys seeing my eyes, you would see the redness. But
Listen, Mike,
he's not a morning person on the front end of it.
We got frozen.
But he's a morning for the meeting.
You got frozen. We heard front person.
Yeah, you got froze, Jose. Say that one more time.
You said the front person.
You're muted.
You're frozen. I'm just kidding. But listen,
You're still muted.
Try it now.
Jose.
Try it now.
You're
Try it now.
muted.
Go ahead. It's
brother,
almost
I love
like,
you, but you're muted.
it's almost like when your boss calls you. This is the perfect scene.
And he wants to tell
he
you, so
wants
wow,
to.
now he's back.
Hopefully he'll come back, because maybe it's internet issues.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, so many takeaways, incredible speakers, and every speaker shared a different way of looking at things, right? That even my fiance said, she goes, "You weren't selling anything." I said, "No." She goes, "You were more motivational." I said, "Well, what'd you think of it?" She goes, "It was great." Okay. But when you think about everybody brought part of who they are into the room, right? Jose's back. So Jose, we lost you when you said, "and great," and then are you back? Try it again.
All right, let's try that again. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, now we can.
Okay, so yeah, my internet's acting up all of a sudden, but I will say that Mike doesn't realize that he actually is a morning person, just not on the front end, like right now. He's a morning person on the back end, like the meeting after the meeting.
Yeah. And that's true. Mike was tired like on Saturday, but he kept coming, and it looked like he was sleepwalking, but he was there. He did not miss not one thing. But I was like, "Mike, you good?" He said, "Yo, I can't hardly even stand up right now." But I'm at the meeting after the meeting. Yeah. It's like, Mike. Yeah, it was funny.
No, wait, listen, I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna throw you under the bus for a second, Lancelot, because you were not the late morning person, right? Because if you recall, in Philly, you went to sleep in the car, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then the second night,
Oh my goodness.
something woke you up, and you said, "There is no way I'm gonna miss any of this." And it
Because
was when we talked about intentions.
Yes.
That when we're in the room like this, when we're in the meeting after the meeting, it's because it's intentional, and it's because this is when the real juice comes out.
Yeah.
When you squeeze the lemon and you only get a little bit, and then you leave the lemon, but there's so much juice left. You squeeze it again and you get so much more. You might make a face, but
So just to tell that story, so we're at the cigar bar, Monique, and at this point, this is the third meeting. I said, "Okay, this is enough."
This is the third meeting after the meeting.
Fourth meeting.
And I'm
Fourth
like,
meeting.
I'm like literally falling over. And I said, "You know what? Listen, I got to go home, man. What y'all doing?" And he says, Jose said, "Everything I do is very intentional." He said, "The meetings after the meetings is people's guards continue to break down and you get a chance to know who they really are. I went from like this to, oh shit, that's what it is. Okay, let's go. And then I was
Let's
good
go.
after that. It just completely sparked me after that. And so I understand now the meetings after the meeting. And the only reason why I wasn't at that last one, when you guys went back to the hotel, is because I took the train in to the city
To rock, yeah.
to make sure Raquel got where she was going. So then you guys drove back, and I wound up taking the train back home. So, but yeah, those meetings after the meetings are just legendary, and yeah, yes.
Now, Jose, I did teach Dr. Martha one very critical self-defense technique. Just one. Monique, what was that based on?
The power of the voice, people. That was one of the most beautiful, hilarious lessons and truths all at once. I was just
voice.
so grateful to be in the room to bear witness to that
Well,
moment.
tell that one. I didn't see it. What happened?
Oh Lord.
We can't tell you.
That was messed up. I was dead to rights in my own zone, and y'all scream like that.
It was good. It was great.
Jose only wish she would have videotaped it.
I know. I said that right after that moment.
Right.
It was like a moment that you had to be there to experience, because you can't kind of like explain it.
No.
But I wish it was.
You know what, maybe
filmed.
I'll do it to Lancel. I'll teach him that lesson.
Yeah, good idea.
The power of the voice. And if you think about all the speakers, all spoke in a different voice, their voice. And sometimes when we can connect the voice to two areas, I think the voice becomes more powerful. And I know people are going to say the diaphragm and all that stuff, but I'm saying the mind, and most importantly, the heart. That's where the true voice comes through, right? When we can share what's in our heart and we can share what's in our mind through our voice, I think there's some power there.
Absolutely.
Well,
If you're gonna say the power of voice, you got to talk about Monique. There is no more powerful voice that I've ever heard in my life. Monique, again, just giving you your flowers. Like, that was just, you had me at the I'm like,
But you hit Monique, you hit a note that I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn. I mean, you went up at a level that only opera singers, true powerful opera singers hit. And it just sent chills up my spine. You know what I mean? At the range and the amount of work and preparation you had to do with your instrument. And then to know that your mother was your coach and got you to that point, you just understand how powerful that relationship was. So to know that, to see what you did, and to know the journey you went through, just made that even more powerful. It just made it even more powerful.
I'm going to tap on top of that, Lancelot, because Monique's mom came through.
Yes.
When you hear those beautiful vocals that come out, the voice, you can hear her mom. And I know I heard her mom because she's shared her mom with me somewhat, only a little bit, and I'd love to learn more. But what I'm going to say, angelic, right? It was so darn beautiful, powerful. And if you've ever even dreamt of an angel and heard an angel's voice, then you know these two women were with us in the room.
Mhm.
Love it. Love it. Can you guys hear me okay? Testing.
Yes.
testing.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, you're right, Sifu, and everything you said about Monique and Mike as well. And we were talking about Monique earlier. And I've got to say, again, there is no better place to be than to be in a room where your voice is in full swing, right? It was just something very, very special. Very grateful that you were there and that you participated in the way you did. Not only were you a speaker, not only did you sing with your full conviction and passion, but you were also our lead sponsor, right? So thank you for sponsoring the New York City Mastermind Experience. Folks, if you're out there and you're seeing this live and you're not familiar with Monique, I'm telling you, Monique McDonald is someone that you need to know. Get into her world. She belongs there. I'm telling you, the impact is real. Mike, you are an absolute professional. Thank you so much for showing up the way you did. You and Pete, with your professionalism in photography and videography and how you coordinated everything, and just you were really leaning into the whole thing. And you say, Jose, what else do you need? How else can I serve? You know, that kind of just attitude is huge. It's the difference maker, right, between one professional to another. And then Sifu and Lancelot, just an honor to co-host another event with both of you, winners, because you are winners. You know that. That's how I feel about both of you, or I wouldn't be involved, right? So, and chaos in the back, if you hear my kids screaming, they're just waking up. So somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But I say all that to say, very simply, folks, next event, Tampa, Florida, New York City Mastermind Experience, February 27th to March 1st. We want to see you in Tampa. Accept the calling. And yes, if you're wondering, am I being called? Yes, you. If you're watching this and we're talking to you, yes, we want you there. It's going to be an amazing event, Tampa, Florida. Get your tickets, connect with us, be with us in person. I got to run, guys, but I just wanted to say those final thoughts on my side, at least.
All right.
Thank you, Jose.
Jose, have a great week, man. Thank you.
Listen, you guys, be in the room. Tampa is going to be a little bit warmer, but it's going to be different. And by the way, in case I'm not an opera singer, but can I pitch it up? Can I get some loud
Yes,
loud
and
things out
for
there?
me, thank you all for everything that you said. I don't even really have words, but just know that it's my whole heart is receiving it. For me, the moment was when the whole room was on their feet chanting, "My voice vibrates the world." That was for me the moment, because it does. Each and every one of you. As you said, Sifu, I'm not an opera singer. No, but you have a voice and it can vibrate the world.
And I will continue vibrating.
That's right.
And somebody said, I said, I can't sing. And then Monique said, wait, I'm going to help him. So I may be able to come up with a decent tune here and there once in a while. Do us a favor. Join us next Tuesday, but do yourself a favor and get your ticket today.
Yes.
Text 516-242-8732. Just text the NYC and we will know, because it'll be me and I'll reach right back and we'll get your seat. We already have speakers lined up for Tampa. Incredible speakers. Are you a speaker? Do you need to be with us? Or do you just want to be in the room and get to learn and be inspired? Because growth comes when you're in the room. Thank you, everybody. Have a blessed and beautiful rest of your day.
Monique,
God
Mike,
bless everybody.
Sifu, man, you guys have a great day. Great day. Love y'all.
I will
Peace.
accept those kisses. Thank you.
Later, y'all.
Turn it up, let's go. Turn it up, let's go. Let's go. No time to wait. Bass too loud and the vibe too great. Let's go. Full flow, we don't miss. Whole room lit like a first kiss. No cap, no stress, no chill.